Today, we will delve deeper into one of the most remarkable achievements in aviation history, the fastest aircraft ever built, the North American X-15. This iconic aircraft, developed by both NASA and the U.S. Air Force, broke numerous speed and altitude records and was a pioneer in the world of both aviation and space exploration. The X-15 earned its place in history through its unprecedented performance, which had a significant impact on the future development of both aircraft and space technology. Let's explore the story of this extraordinary aircraft and the brave pilots who flew it. In the late 1950s, the world was on the verge of major technological breakthroughs. As the Cold War and the space race were in full swing, engineers and scientists were looking for ways to explore new frontiers in aviation. The United States was under pressure to not only improve the speed of aircraft, but also reach new heights that had previously been unimaginable. This led to the development of the North American X-15. The X-15 program was a joint effort between NASA, the U.S. Air Force, and the U.S. Army, with the goal of pushing the limits of aviation. Unlike conventional jet aircraft, the X-15 was powered by a powerful rocket engine, enabling it to achieve speeds that were many times faster than anything previously possible. The aim was not only to achieve speed, but also to explore the edge of space. The X-15 had an unusual design, optimized for speed and aerodynamics. The aircraft featured a streamlined, pointed nose, a thin fuselage, and long, sharp wings. This design was crucial for minimizing drag at the extreme speeds and altitudes the X-15 would reach. The construction of the X-15 was also special, as the aircraft was not entirely made of conventional aircraft materials, but rather utilized specialized heat-resistant materials to withstand the immense heat generated by air friction at high speeds. The X-15 was powered by the XLR-99 rocket engine, which could produce up to 57,000 pounds of thrust. This allowed the aircraft to achieve incredible speeds, from Mach 1 to Mach 6 and beyond. The engine was efficient enough to enable the aircraft to not only achieve supersonic speeds, but also reach great altitudes. The X-15 did not have traditional landing gear. Instead, it would glide back to Earth after reaching its maximum speed and altitude, landing on a conventional runway. It is difficult to imagine just how fast the X-15 actually was. The fastest flight was made by William J. in October 1967, when he reached a speed of 4,520 miles per hour. This is more than 6 times the speed of sound, and was an unprecedented record at the time. This speed remains the highest ever achieved by a manned aircraft. To put this speed into perspective, imagine traveling from New York to Los Angeles. At Mach 6.7, that journey could be completed in just over an hour, a distance that would take more than 5 hours by a commercial airliner. But speed wasn't the only impressive feat of the X-15. The aircraft also reached altitudes that crossed the boundary into space. In 1963, Joseph A. Walker achieved the highest flight, reaching 107 kilometers above Earth. This brought the aircraft beyond the boundary of space, defined by the Kármán line at 100 kilometers. The X-15 therefore actually flew into space, making it a pioneer in the transition from aviation to spaceflight. The North American X-15 was more than just a speed demon. It played a crucial role in providing data that would form the basis for future advancements in both aviation and space exploration. The experiences gained from the X-15 provided valuable insights into topics such as hypersonic flight, high-speed dynamics, spaceflight safety, and the effects of the space environment on humans and aircraft. The X-15 was a precursor to the space programs of the 1960s and 1970s, including the Space Shuttle. The pilots of the X-15, who were often considered astronauts, helped gather invaluable information on the limits of human performance in space, which would prove essential for future space exploration. The X-15 program ran from 1959 to 1970, and during that time, 199 flights were made. The program not only achieved record-breaking performances, but also produced important data that NASA and the U.S. Air Force used to design future aircraft and spacecraft. The pilots of the X-15 were nothing short of pioneers. They were highly trained test pilots, often with years of experience, and were chosen for their ability to function under extreme conditions. Many of the X-15 pilots would later become astronauts, including Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon, and John Glenn, who made a famous spaceflight at the age of 77. The flights were not without risk. Pilots had to deal with extreme speeds, heat, and pressure, and they had to prepare for the physical and psychological challenges of flying in space. Yet, the pilots pressed on, determined to push the boundaries of aviation. The North American X-15 was not only the fastest manned aircraft ever built, but also an important milestone in the history of both aviation and spaceflight. The aircraft represented an era of immense technological advancement, and the lessons learned from it continue to influence the aviation and space industries today. The X-15 reminds us of what is possible when human curiosity and technology come together. The brave pilots and engineers who built this aircraft were the pioneers of their time and laid the groundwork for future generations to continue exploring the sky and beyond. Like the video and subscribe for more world records.